All right, yeah. So, Guy is the greatest male group of all time, male R&B group. Let me show you what Damion Hall. Shout out to the legendary Damion Hall, Aaron Hall's brother of the group Guy. Let me let y'all hear. He was on Holden Court's podcast. Shout out to Court, Big Court. So listen to what he said right here. Fair use, Court. I'm giving you your flowers. Shout out to your podcast. You know I'm a subscriber and you know I comment, but shout out to you, fair use. Listen to this.
Guy.
Mm-hmm. Hold on, let me go back. Let me play for you.
There is no group better than Guy.
Mm-hmm. Flat out.
Period.
So hold on, OG. No group better than Guy.
Nope.
The Jacksons.
No, listen. Stop.
I'm just saying. I'm finna go down the logic.
Stop. You know what I mean? No, stop. Listen.
Mm-hmm.
From when I came in to where we are.
Okay.
Again, two groups that will always be my everything.
Yeah.
New Edition and Tony.
Tony.
Mm.
Okay.
All these other groups.
So you're giving it to mint condition.
What? Okay. I'm gonna say one thing.
Shout out to Damion Hall. Y'all let me know what you're thinking. I'm gonna respond to this, but this is very interesting.
Stokely's one of the dopest musicians on the planet.
Mm-hmm.
Chris, who played with him, if you ever saw them perform stage as musicians, they were incredible.
Yeah.
I say one thing to people when people ask me this question. It's not cocky, it's just real. Did we ever open up for them niggas?
And he's so confident what he's saying too. Shout out to the OG.
No.
True.
What?
True.
True can flip, dance, do all that. When they came out, Spread My Wings. I love them all. They're
Spread My Wings, Mamacita.
They did all the things.
All I do is think about
they did
you.
all that. Did we open up for True? You ask them niggas.
Yeah.
Listen to me. I'm real with mine, bro.
Yeah.
Ask them.
Yeah.
When we go on who's that group.
Mm.
See, Teddy ain't ever gonna say nothing.
Yeah.
This is very interesting because I think he has a good argument. Let's keep watching.
Teddy be like, man, you know, I love everybody. I love everybody too.
Yeah.
I'm literally friends with all these guys.
Yeah. We talking music.
No, I'm friends.
Yeah.
They know.
Yeah.
Nigga, please stop. Y'all niggas ain't on our level, bro. Don't do that.
Yeah.
I don't care how great. Everybody got great songs, bro.
That's a fact.
And everybody got swag, and everybody got their audience. But I always say this, and I say, look, every now and again, it ain't always great to be the headliner.
Fair use, by the way, fair use.
But I tell people this all the time. When we didn't headline, like really when we didn't headline, ask the groups what happened, bro.
Yeah.
No, this is real.
Yeah.
It's not me saying anything that's not real.
All right, so that's pretty much what he said. And he commented under this post. He said, unless you live my life and understand my walk, you might not understand. But the years it took us to be great, I dare not allow anyone to undermine our greatness. Love you all the support. And you see the group Silk right here, put the cap with, you know, the laughing emojis and stuff like that. So let's talk about it. Is Guy, look at Ashley, she said what? Do you feel like Guy is the greatest male R&B group of all time? Now, here's what I got to say about it. I think they have a good argument. I think that they might have a good argument. And I might be a little biased because I would say my personal favorite male R&B group probably is Guy. That's what I said. I think that Guy might be my favorite male R&B group. Now, this is the reason why I said he probably has a good argument. Let's look at what Guy has done. They ushered in the New Jack Swing era. Like they started that Teddy Riley. Teddy Riley, they have one of the greatest R&B hip hop producers of all time within their group. And from that one album, which is up on my wall, from that one album, they have several hits that weren't even official singles. Okay. They had several hits that weren't even official singles, and they've created one of the best R&B songs of all time called Let's Chill. They still play Let's Chill at weddings. People play Let's Chill. That's my favorite R&B song of all time. Now, the first thing that people are going to say, they're going to bring up Jodeci, just like Kia did. She brought up Jodeci. Okay. Interesting. Let's talk about Jodeci versus Guy. Now, I'm not mad if somebody puts Jodeci over Guy. I'm not mad if somebody puts Guy over Jodeci. The difference between Guy and Jodeci, let's talk about the plus side of Jodeci. Jodeci defined the 90s R&B group sound. They defined the image. They were kind of the first to do what they did. However, Jodeci didn't have as much range as other male R&B groups. Meaning, what Jodeci songs are, what are they known for? More of the seductive, sexual, making love songs. That's what they're known for the most, which were classics. But if you compare Jodeci to Boys to Men, if you compare Jodeci to Guy has songs that'll make you get up and dance. Guy has breakup songs with Goodbye Love. Guy also has love ballads, and they have sexy songs. Jodeci has a limited catalog or limited content of what songs they have. You know what I'm saying? But they're still one of the greatest male R&B groups ever. They're legendary. This is the other reason why Damion Hall. This is the other reason why Damion Hall has a good point. And today, over the years, since Guy came out, Jodeci came out, all these male R&B groups came out of the late 80s, early 90s. Who do people sample the most? Who do people sample the most out between Guy and Jodeci? Who gets sampled the most? It's not Jodeci. Just saying. I've heard several samples of Piece of My Love. I've heard several samples of Goodbye Love. You know what I'm saying? I've heard samples way more from Guy. They're the most sampled male R&B group of like the late 80s, early 90s, mid 90s, whatever. People don't sample Jagged Edge records. People don't sample Jodeci records like that. People don't, they have before, but Guy, come on now. Piece of My Love. I've heard that several times being sampled. Guy ushered in a new sound. It wouldn't be no Jodeci without Guy. It wouldn't be a Drew Hill without Guy. Blackstreet. There wouldn't be a Blackstreet without Guy because Teddy, after he left Guy, he went to Blackstreet. So Guy is the root of what was to come. From New Jack Swing to they redefined what male R&B was. They had it on that one album that's on my wall right here. They have several hits that have been sampled. Goodbye Love, I Like, Piece of My Love, all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Let's Chill then got sampled a lot. I'm just saying he has a good argument. I'm not saying that they are because it's debatable. Because when you first hear, you're like, oh no. Then I think it depends on generations too, because Guy came out in the late 80s, going into the 90s, and then they stopped in 1990. Then they got back together way later. Jodeci came in like 1990, 1991, and they had like 3 albums, I want to say, and then they stopped. But in comparison, I'm just comparing. If you're talking about culturally, Guy gets sampled more than Boys to Men, Drew Hill, High Five, H-Town. Let's be honest, Troop. He has a valid point. That's all I'm saying. I'm gonna name my favorite male R&B groups, and this isn't in any particular order. I don't think so, but these are my top 5. And y'all let me know your top 5s in the comments. Ashley, Kia, whoever's watching, y'all let me know who are y'all top 5 male R&B groups, because I'm gonna be honest, I'm only gonna talk about late 80s, early 90s. Now, let me say this too. I'm not gonna count in, like I said, the Temptations, the Jackson 5. That's before my time. I listen to those records. I love them. Temptations arguably is the best male R&B group of all time. I'm talking about just all together. But for the sake of discussion, we're talking about the 90s era. Okay. So me, from what I grew up listening to, I have Guy, Jodeci, Drew Hill, Tony. And the number 5 spot is kind of tough. It's between H-Town and Jagged Edge. Let me name mine again. Guy, Jodeci, Drew Hill, Tony, and between H-Town and Jagged Edge. I might give it to H-Town over Jagged Edge, but I don't know. because H-Town was strong. Now, look, I love all the male R&B groups in the 90s. If you were a male R&B group in the 90s, I pretty much like you. I love High Five too. I love High Five. I like Intro. What y'all know about that intro? Let me come inside if you let me. Love that. LSG. Now, New Edition. I know people will bring up New Edition. My thing with New Edition is I love New Edition, but I love them as a unit more than just a group, if that makes sense. New Edition is higher than all of them. Let's just be honest, because it wouldn't be a guy without New Edition. But New Edition were stronger, in my opinion, separately than they were together. The only time they were real strong, together, and this is my personal hold on, y'all. There's still plenty of snacks and beverages, but the piece is gone. Yeah. So my personal preference, I lost my train of thought. But New Edition. New Edition, that Heartbreak album, classic, right? It had the songs that redefine them, but I don't be going to listen to Candy Girl like that. You know what I'm saying? Their earlier stuff, I like the singles, but like as far as the album, man, that Heartbreak is where it is for me. But they are more like Voltron and a conglomerate than just a male R&B group like that. Like New Edition is just on a different level. It's hard to even put them in the same category with all the male R&B artists that I named. But when you're talking about Guy and Drew Hill and all of them, like now, some people bring up Boys to Men too. You know what I'm saying? Like Boys to Men, they're my top 10. Not gonna say top 5, but I do love some Boys to Men records, but they had a lot of simpish records, to be honest. Jodeci did too. Theirs just was more sensual, seductive type. You know what I'm saying? Because Cry For You is one of the biggest simp songs ever. Fiending is one of the biggest simp songs ever. Take my money, my house, and my car. For one hit of you, you can have it all. Come on now. But yeah, all I'm saying is Damion Hall has a very, very good argument. That's all I'm saying. So y'all let me know in the comments. So Kia, you gonna say Jodeci. Ashley, what are your top 5? Y'all let me know who are y'all top 5 male R&B groups. Again, mine, Guy, Jodeci, Drew Hill, Tony, and between H-Town and Jagged Edge, because I love their music. And I love High Five. Shout out to Intro, Men of Vision. There's a lot of them. So who you got? You said Jodeci, Guy, Boys to Men, Drew Hill, Tony. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. All right. So you don't have H-Town on there. So we like some of the same music. Yeah, we like the same groups. I love Tony. That's a hard one too, because Tony, man, and between them, it's real hard. It's a real hard list to really go at. I love Tony, but Guy may be my number 1, me personally. I love Piece of My Love. I love Teddy's Jam. I'm a big New Jack Swing fan. And then Let's Chill is my favorite male R&B song ever. Probably R&B song ever. You know what I'm saying? Oh, shout out to Soul For Real. I love Soul For Real. Love Soul For Real. Who you got? You got Guy, Silk. Oh, how the hell I forget Silk? Guy, Silk, Blackstreet, High Five, Jodeci. Great picks. I love High Five. So Silk is in my top 10. High Five definitely is in my top 10. Blackstreet, yeah, we forgot about Silk, man. Put some respect on Silk's name. God, dog. Forgot all about Silk. But Silk, me personally, I only like 2 songs from Silk. I love Freak Me and I love Meeting in My Bedroom. If You was cool, but Silk don't have as many songs I like, but the songs that I do like legendary. But Silk, that's not bad. That's not bad at all. But High Five, y'all need to put some respect on High Five's name. High Five got some hits. High Five got some hits. And it's always a battle between High Five, Jodeci. I'm sorry, High Five, H-Town, or Jagged Edge. But I love Jagged Edge too. But Drew Hill, love Drew Hill. But yeah, Damion definitely has an argument. There are no male R&B groups of that era that are sampled more than Guy, period. They got sampled in rap, R&B, all of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, but I had a good time with y'all tonight. Thank you, Kia. Thank you, Ashley. Thank you, everybody who tuned in. Me and Kia, we've been in the inbox going in on Instagram, going back and forth about this Diddy situation. I'm just glad that it's over. Okay. Oh, so your honorable mentions: Drew Hill, Boys to Men, Tony. Absolutely. But yeah, man, I had fun with y'all. Y'all make sure that you subscribe to the official YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/ResView. Shame on y'all who are going against Diddy for this weak ass case. I'm glad that it's over. But thank you all of my supporters. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, which is youtube.com/ResView. And also make sure that you go to Who Gave You a Podcast. That's my latest joint podcast with CJ, aka Animal Brown. So go to Who Gave You a Podcast on YouTube, youtube.com/Who Gave You a Podcast. You can follow us on TikTok and Instagram with Who Gave You a Pod. And man, what you say? I do not like 112. Too trendy for me. Yeah, I didn't like 112. Oh, I ain't gonna say I didn't like 112. I like some of. I like We Can Do It Anywhere. I like what's the song? Cupid, Love Cupid. But 112, they were too kind of poppy for me. I don't know. You said Silk's Tonight album. Yeah, y'all talking about some real R&B tonight. But yeah, 112, they had their, share of songs, but it's only like, like two songs I like from them for real. I love Cupid and I love Anywhere. I'm trying to see if it's another song that I really, really dig from them. Let me see. Oh, Peaches and Cream was cool. It's over now. I like that. Yeah. Oh, and You Already Know. I forgot about that. I like You Already Know. Yeah. So that was dope. What make you think this case was weak? All right. So listen, Coach Johnson, shout out to you, but I went over that. You got to catch the replay. It's gonna be posted on Facebook. The replay. Shout out to the replay game because I went through all of it, but you'll see it. Just play it back in the beginning, like the first 30 minutes. I talked about it all. But like I said, man, I got some other stuff to do. Finishing up this album. Once 3 is on the way. That's the latest J Red album that is in the works. So make sure that you look for that. Again, go to Who Gave You a Podcast. Make sure you subscribe to that. And I will see you on the next episode of ResView. Peace, everybody.